Evening, guys. Hope you're all well, all doing well. Hope you've all been in your workshops and making stuff. Right, so this project I did see on the internet, and I just wanted to try it out for myself without looking at any plans. I've just looked at a picture and I'm just drawing my own sort of version of it. Now, it looks simple and it'll look sort of like other things you see, but it's not. They're actually a pair of Japanese stools I'm making. Now, they look like a pair of trestles, like you probably see trestles and you think, oh, these look a bit like trestle. But believe me when I say this, and I'm talking back to you now, in the process of doing this, they were quite technical. So this bit here, I've mislaid my big sort of ruler. I don't know where I've put it, and so I'm just making a bit of a stick with measurements on it because I'm just making a grid on that paper there. I just want to make a grid just to get me angles right and get me measurements. What I'm trying to do is make everything a bit more accurate and things like that. So all these little things are all adding to me becoming a better woodworker, I think. Just checking everything for square, just going through. This just taking me sort of like 10-15 minutes to draw this grid out. You can buy grids, you can buy sort of grids that you can lay down. I ain't got one and I didn't have time to buy one off Amazon, and I thought, you know what, good practice just to make my own. I'm actually going to learn something from it. So I'm just checking here, I've got everything spot on, square, accurate. And this will help me with some angles, because what I did see on the pictures of these sort of stools was I didn't know what angle was. There was a cut and I didn't know what angle it was, and I'm no good at angles and all that kind of thing, if I'm perfectly honest. So I just thought I'd do that grid to help me out. So I'm just cutting this down now just to make it a bit more manageable. This is the wood I'm using for this is a length of 8x1 or 1x8 pine. I'm just chopping it down there. Got that new saw this week. I am going to do a video of why I've gone onto a DeWalt cordless platform. I'm not sponsored. Everything's bought off my own money. And I just want to tell you the reasons why I'm going through it and why it's sort of beneficial for me and cost effective. So again, I'm just measuring up. I don't know my precise measurements yet, so I'm just sort of like winging it here a little bit, just getting stuff, and I'm using that grid just to make sure I don't cut anything too short at this time. Yeah, I'll put that video, the DeWalt video, on during the week. It won't be a Wednesday or a Sunday video. It'll just be sort of like a random video I put on during the week. I've got this sort of tool to cut things down the side there, and hopefully learn more about it to help me, aid me, so I'm not using the miter saw as much. I'm just ripping these boards down now here. These are going to be the sides, so these are going to be 9 centimeters, 90mm, and I'm going to cut 8 of these in total. I'm intrigued with Japanese furniture. I don't know what it is. I'm just really intrigued with these. And when I seen these on the internet, and then you sort of flick through because something sort of piques your interest, the price of them, what people were selling them for, honestly, just type in Google or the internet or whatever internet you have, Japanese AA stools. Just type in and look at some of the prices, what people are charging for these. Personally, I think it's scandalous what they're charging. But if you want to make these to your own specifications and sell them, and no, don't be greedy, you should sort of make some money. Now, these are for the step and for the top. Now, they're narrow, and they're going to be 9 centimeters. And I thought, oh, when I'm looking at them, thinking, you sit on a 9 centimeter board, it's sort of like, well, for me, because I'm sort of overweight and I'm heavy and I'm big, it's going to be uncomfortable. But when I've made these in the end and I've tried them out, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. So these are 9cm boards. So I'll need 4 of these, and what I'll do is I'll trim one down for the footrest. We'll see the footrest near the end of the video. That outfeed table board is working wonders. Now the angle I've worked it out to is 15 degrees, so that's what I'm going to cut these angles at. The beast is out. Luckily I had my 2 lads were there, so they carried it out and carried it in for me today while I was using this. And just an update on the box video. If you remember the box video I did and I was waiting for parts, well, I asked people what I should do with it and asked for suggestions. And one of the suggestions was a games compendium. So I'm going to turn that box into a games compendium and do a short video about it, fitting it out and everything. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. So hit the notification button, bell, whatever the thing is, what I'm supposed to say, the notification thing, so you don't miss any of the videos. And please subscribe if you're watching my videos. It really does help. So I'm just, I've cut one with a 15-degree angle, and I'm going to use that as my sort of template for the rest of them now. I don't know what it is about angles. Woodworking is one of them things you're just learning something new all the time. And this looks such a simple build, and probably to you on the video, it's probably some of you are probably thinking, they're really, really, really simple. But honestly, if you try them, they're quite technical. It's not just like a normal sort of sawhorse type build, which are quite easy. You can knock up in no time. These have got a bit of something to them. I mean, they still don't justify the prices what people are charging for them. I don't know what sort of wood they're using to make them, but I mean, I'm using pine here, as a, to try them and to see what they come out like. So just take it nice and easy. Make sure your hand's way away from there. My hand looks closer than it actually is. And that's my first one, which is going to be my template for the rest of them. So I've got my sizes all worked out. Everything's worked out. So I've just put 2 boards at the top and the bottom there, just to sort of like make sure everything's square. I'm going down here, I think it's 3 centimetres and 6 centimetres, both ends, and then I'll strike a line between the 2, which will give me my line for my screws. Just to make sure I mean, you could just like throw screws into it if you wanted, but just to make it a bit neater and a bit tidier. Don't forget that the board on, when you make these, you're doing one side and another side, so you've got to sort of like make sure the boards are a mirror image of each other, if that makes sense to you. Don't do like 4 sort of sides like this. You've got to sort of pull the other one underneath it the other way around, if that makes sense. So they mirror up when you put the top and the, and the footrest in. So I'm just marking that off there, making sure everything's nice and neat. That line I've just scribed there with a pencil. You'll see why in a second. So I'm just going in with a pilot holes here. Now here's where that line is, so I know where to sort of put my glue. And I'm going in now with, I'm using 35mm Torx screws on this one, on the sides. Just making sure everything's lined up correctly. One thing I have learned over the, last sort of couple of months with these projects is keep looking, keep checking. Just don't go sort of like gung-go in with things. Keep checking, make sure everything's square and lined up and everything. So that's all 4 sides done. them two, and then you've got the other sides, if that makes sense. Can you see there how they're different from the other two? So I'm just going on the inside here just to measure for the footrest. So I'm just checking that measurement. And I'm just going to mark that and cut it down. I don't know why I did this step here, because, you know, I can just cut it dead quick with my saw there. Just make sure everything's lined up. It's not quite lined there, as you can see at the end. But just through double checking everything before you do it, it's nice and lined up now. So that's that bit done. Now I'm measuring up here 12 centimetres, 120 mil either side. Now there's a 15-degree angle on the bottom there, but we'll just measure up from both sides 12 centimetres and then strike a line across, and that will give you your reference for your holes for the footrest. And do that on both sides. And you're putting the footrest on the two boards that are on the inside of the stool. Just going in with the pilot hole again. More measuring. This is for the top, which is the coming in 30 mil from each end. These are for the sort of like where you sit on the top. Even though the boards are like 21, 22 mil thick, they're sandwiched together, so come in 30 mil. And then I've just gone sort of like 25 mil down on either side there for where I'm going to place the screws, just to make them look nice and neat. Really happy I've done this project. I thought it might be a bit basic, a bit simple. But you know what? I've actually learned quite a lot from this project. The technicalities of sort of some angles and, you know, getting just some of the cuts sort of bang on right and all that kind of stuff. It was a good project to learn from. And I do recommend you try these. It was one of them projects sort of like left me scratching my head a little bit, sort of in certain stages, thinking why this, why that, and honestly, they sort of all come good. There is mistakes made on it, and I'll do that on the overview video. What you'll see probably the night after this, where I just run through what went well and what didn't. But yeah, overall I'm happy. But you know, there is a few little sort of mistakes I've made, but it's fine. It's not it's not an issue. Not big mistakes. Now, for the top, I'm going in with 40 mil torque screws here. Just taking it nice and easy. I'm just cutting some plugs out from some old scrap mahogany I've got lying about. This is the scrap mahogany tabletop that just keeps giving. Some glue. Excuse me. Now, comes no surprise to you. These have already been claimed. These are already... they've been claimed. My daughter's having these. She's found out about him, and you know, it's just another thing that's gone. I'm not going to see him again. I'm just going in with the plugs now, and everything's sort of like the mahogany plugs against the pine will contrast it a little bit. Now you can paint these. I've seen these painted sort of like in sort of like designer sort of boutique style colours and all that kind of thing, and they look quite smart. You're more than welcome to do that. Stain them, you know, make them to your size. Just trimming here. Getting some of the excess glue off. Really, I could have just let that glue dry, but I was just sort of rushing to do the video. My Max C sander, if you're wanting a good sander, you know, these are really good sanders. This come out of my own money, so I'm not sponsored, but I have had it for a while. You've seen me use it all the time, and I can now with confidence recommend it. And here they are finished now. They go together, so instead of like stackable, they're sort of like you push them together. Now mine are a little bit tight, so I didn't want to overdo it. And that was one mistake. So say on the next ones, I'd know what to do. But as you can see there, they've got like a style to them. They've got like a, with the triangular form, the super strong. I like them. I like them. I like the look of them. The footstool's good. The top's good. Detect my weight. If they take my weight, they'll take anybody's weight, trust me. And here's Shelley sitting on one, and she rates them. She says they're really comfortable. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about these. I know they look simple, but they're not as simple as they look, if that makes sense. And Stanley agrees. Thank you. Bye-bye.